Hello, beautiful ladies. Hello, and welcome back to Conscious Champagne Chat number 25. And I'm back home, as you can see. Seriously, you guys, me being in hospital was like one of the craziest experiences I've ever had, in that they completely misdiagnosed me and put me full of antibiotics for what turned out in the end to be nothing. And so I have to do another whole conscious champagne chat on that, because I took away so much and I learned so much. And one of the things that I really learned was I should have trusted my intuition on Wednesday and not a whole bunch of doctors who didn't know what it was and panicked and put me into panic mode and made me feel really insecure. And it was a very, very interesting lesson. But so in case you're wondering, I'm fine. I'm doing really well. I'm back home, which is fantastic. I made it back home on Sunday, and here I am with Conscious Champagne Chat number 25. So if you're watching this in the Mom Leadership Group, let me know when you're here. Say hi. When you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay. And if you're watching it on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. So today, I want to talk about when emotional intelligence is actually not enough in, working motherhood, I want to say. And what I do instead, and what has really helped me to stay grounded, stay connected, stay alive. And I have my daughter coming. Do you want to say hi? I'm online right now.
Hi.
I have a daughter and a cat. I'm going to come and say goodnight in 5 minutes, okay?
I'm gonna stay.
You're going to stay? Okay. Can I keep talking?
Yes.
All right. You can't see them, but they can see you. I know it's a bit weird, right? Because you see yourself, but there's actually people on the other line. I'll show you later, okay? You can see. So, where was I? Okay. So, emotional intelligence. What is it actually? So, what it is, it's really your ability to, first of all, recognize your own emotions, be aware of your own emotions, and then understand how to manage your own emotions. And as a leader, we don't just have to be aware of our own feelings, we actually need to be aware of what's going on around us and other people's feelings and stuff. And so there's two components to it, right? The one is self-awareness, and the other one is self-management, so to speak. And that is really great, and a lot of people, quite honestly, don't even have that. And what I can tell you, what's happening right now out there in the world is that there's a lot of research happening on this, and they're realizing that what you actually need to be a super successful leader, and this goes in business as well as at home, like being the leading mom, they've shown that it is super important to have emotional intelligence over like just having kind of the skills you need to have in your job. Or like if you think about what are the traditional skills you need to have as a mom, right? We need to cook, we need to take care of the household. It's like kind of all that sort of stuff. And so what I've seen though is a lot of people already struggle with even having that self-awareness. But then you might get there, right? You might be there, say, realizing this is how I feel. This is what is happening right now. Then the question becomes, what do you do with that emotion that is coming up? Do you know how to manage it? And this is where the problem starts. And this is where the problem with emotional intelligence comes in, because most of us have been taught to manage our emotions away. And what I mean by that is that when you have a feeling coming up, we never allow ourselves to truly feel the feelings. We basically think we need to pick a better feeling thought. So let me give you an example. So one example would be let's say you're riding, you're in your car and you're going down a motorway. Hey, Pauline. And you're going down a motorway and there comes a person and that person cuts you off. So They cut you off, and actually what's happening inside of you is like, you idiot, da, 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 da. And like you want to you want to let it out. But very often what we do is we tell ourselves, oh, come on, don't get upset. It's not a big deal. And we do this all the time. We actually are aware of the emotion coming up inside of us, and then we talk ourselves out of the emotion, right? And this is where people tell you, pick a better feeling thought. So don't go down the rabbit hole of where the emotion wants to drag you, but no, start thinking positive and don't make a big deal out of it. Don't make a big deal out of it. And this is where the problem starts with emotional intelligence, because it basically, the one half is amazing, where it tells you, hey, acknowledge your emotion, empathize with your emotion, see it, be aware of it, but then don't make a big deal out of it. Pretty much tell yourself something else to move out of it. And this is where I've seen where the problem starts. Because what happens when we do that? When we have an emotion and we talk ourselves out of the emotion, what we are doing is we're first of all judging the emotion, and we're basically telling ourselves, you should not be feeling that way, that's not correct. Second of all, we're not allowing, remember I always say emotions are nothing else than energy in motion. So they're energy cycles, they're circles. Like think of like an emotion starts, like let's say you're feeling disappointment, it comes, it's a circle and it wants to be completed and it's movement. And if we do not allow that cycle to be completed, it gets stored inside of your body. That's why, by the way, you guys, so many of us have a whole bunch of aches and pains and diseases and a lot of other crap and just feeling so heavy all the time because these emotions live inside of us. And when we don't allow ourselves to complete that emotional cycle and talk ourselves out of the emotion, so when the guy actually comes and cuts you off, like you want to get in there. You want, if you get angry, like you want to allow yourself to get super duper angry. Because when we actually do that, when we do that, what happens is you will not get triggered anymore eventually. See, what most people get wrong is they're so scared of really getting angry because they think if I allow my emotion to take over, I'm not in control. And they think if I allow to really be and feel in that emotion, like they're an angry person and they can't control it. But it's exactly the opposite. The more you allow yourself to feel through those things, the less you will actually get triggered, because you are so clean. You're so clean inside. You're like so light inside that when another person comes and is like, you can feel the emotional negative vibe, you don't take it on. You don't take it on. If you're really easily reacting to other people's emotional vibes, you are not strong. You are not clean. You're taking on their energy. You're taking on their vibes. And that is exhausting for us. It's super exhausting. And that's why, it happens that when our kids push our buttons and they push our buttons and they push them all day long, that once a sudden you find yourself talking like that little 5-year-old that just triggered you. Because we do not have that emotional stamina, because we never learned how to properly deal with our emotions. And so what we want to do instead is what I like to call show ourselves emotional respect. So instead of actually having emotional intelligence, really focus on developing your emotional respect. What does that mean? It's the same principle of emotional intelligence. And then first of all, recognize the emotion. So if your child is pushing your buttons, recognize the emotion that is coming up. But then allow yourself to just feel the pain of that emotion. Sometimes they're painful. Being disappointed, being helpless, feeling angry, feeling upset. It's hard to bear, you guys, because we have not learned to sit in that pain pretty much. And so when we can't do that, that's when we then start fighting, and it gets yucky and it gets icky, and it's just like, it's a big mess for everybody. It doesn't feel good for anybody. So show yourself that emotional respect, and all you literally have to do is, okay, I'm feeling disappointed. Okay, just be with it, sit with it. Let it pass through you, pretty much. Don't judge it. Don't get angry with it. It's just an emotion that needs to move out of your body, period. That's all. Like, if we started looking at emotions as literally just neutral energies that are passing through us, we'd be so much more loving, compassionate, kind humans. Because we understand they don't say anything about us. They literally don't say anything about us. And furthermore, when you learn to show that emotional respect to you and love yourself for all those emotions, you can show that emotional respect to your children. And yes, it can get tough. I mean, you have no idea. With my daughter, like, seriously, I've had conversations where she was in so much deep emotional pain that she would basically say, she would put it all on me. And she's like, you and I just don't get along. We don't fit together. You are, you want my life to be miserable. Like, she is, like, they can say so many hurtful things. And so it's very shocking for us at the beginning. But all you have to do in that moment, when you show them, I know where you're coming from. I really understand you're super hurt. I'm so sorry you feel that way. I'm so sorry I hurt you. That's emotional respect. Then that's when you start bonding. That's when you start connecting. And the things will eventually, so their emotional intelligence, their emotional resilience grows, and your mutual understanding for each other grows as well. And plus, when you show yourself that emotional respect, as I said before, you guys, you become very light-weighted. It's like you just like flow through life pretty much, right? I mean, that's why even when I was in hospital, like, it didn't bug me. Like, yes, it was not great to be away from my family, but it didn't take me down the rabbit hole, because I have a lot of emotional respect for me and for what is happening inside of me. And the more I show that to me, the faster I move through things. And the more I can actually take on, the more I can handle, because it doesn't feel heavy to me. It never feels heavy to me. So that's what I wanted to leave you with today. Emotional respect, that's what it takes. And tomorrow, let me take a look at my notes here. Tomorrow, I want to talk about why our obsession to raise good kids is actually firing back and doesn't really help your kids' confidence and personal development and strengths. So that's what we're going to talk tomorrow. So I will be seeing you back then. Take care. Bye.